What's up, everybody? Drew here, and I am back with another witchy tale. And this one is called Blue Monkey God. So this story comes from a dream. Now, let's go into that a little bit first. Now, mostly when I remember my dreams, which I usually do, they're just kind of what I would call junk dreams. They're just my subconscious working through things or wish fulfillment type dreams, things like that. But I am often also a lucid dreamer, and I can control my dreams and what goes on in my dreams. And then I have a whole other class, if you will, of dreams that I have from time to time. And these would be, I would describe them as message dreams, where the feel of the dream is very different. The mood of the dream, it is, they are so vivid and almost real. And upon waking up, I realize that this is a message, and I interpret that or sit with it or whatever I need to do. But these are also dreams that I don't forget. And even if I forget them, meaning they are at the back of my mind and I am not consciously aware of them, there are things that can trigger the remembrance. And again, I will remember every detail of the dream. It's like a real life experience that happened recently. This witchy tale is the product of one of these dreams. So this would be about 9, maybe 10 years ago. I was working at Compass Rose, and I was exposed to different religious paths, spiritual paths through that environment. Because while my boss lady was a Wiccan, she was very open, loving, and accepting of everyone. The only thing we didn't really have in the store was Christian paraphernalia, because you can get that anywhere. But we did have angels and things like that in the store. We'd have Celtic crosses and stuff like that occasionally, but you get what I'm saying. We had people, and she had friends who were from, witchy paths, who were from sort of New Age paths, who were from almost Buddhist paths. And we had regular customers that were from the Hindu faith. And we had lots of paraphernalia for Ganesha, and we had a little bit for Vishnu, Lakshmi, and that was about it. And honestly, that was about the extent of my exposure. I knew a lot about Ganesha, but not much else. A little bit, not much. And I have always been drawn to them. To all of them. I find the Hindu gods and goddesses very beautiful and very, they're energetically, I don't even know how to describe it without it sounding kind of gross. It's just, it's nice. It's nice. It's comfortable. It's lovely. It's beautiful. Oh my God, there are so many vultures out today, guys. We have the tree line over here where I live. The vultures all perch in the morning and, dry their wings, sun their wings. And you'll see 1 or 2 out, but there was just like 6 of them circling right now. Anyway, sorry. Squirrel. Vulture. The vultures are what distract me in my videos. I usually edit it out. I might leave it in this time. Who knows? Anyway, I love Sister Vulture. Can't be helped. Okay, so I knew, like I said, quite a bit about Ganesh, and I was drawn to, not to Hinduism itself, but just the gods and goddesses. I love that energy. Very minimal exposure, and I still have very minimal exposure with the Hindu culture. But one night, this 9-10 years ago, I went to bed and I had this dream. So at first it was just a normal dream. Just a normal junk dream. I was just in a room and I was talking, and then suddenly I saw this blue monkey crawling across the wall in front of me, and I was talking to someone. It took me right out of that, and now I'm focused on this. And so on the wall, there's this blue monkey. And he turns and he faces me, and his face toward me. And he has this, like, I don't even know what to call it, so I apologize, but it's like a crown almost. If you've ever seen depictions of Hindu gods and goddesses and things from that culture, you know what I'm talking about. So immediately upon waking, I realized, because of this helmet, crown, I don't know, because of this headgear that he was wearing, that this was Hindu. So that was helpful. That was very helpful. But so I'm watching him, and he turned toward me and looked at me, and then he turned back and continued to crawl. And as I watched him, the scenery changed. So we're like in a bedroom, and he's on the wall. And then as he crawls from the bedroom wall, it leads into the stone wall. And I'm just, forget everything that's going on. I just followed him. I walked behind him and followed him. And then we're in a whole new scene. And this is, like I said, stone walls. And I don't really know what's happening. And I just continue to watch him. And to me, he seemed sort of mischievous, looking back at me again, kind of grinning, making sure that I was following him and that I was watching him. And he crawled up the wall, and it went very high. And then suddenly, it was like I was in an M.C. Escher painting, you know, with all the stairs that go everywhere. Suddenly, almost like a puzzle box or something. That describes it pretty accurately. The walls started shifting and moving and changing. And then I was outside, and I was looking from the inside, and the blue monkey was gone. And I'm up at a sort of elevated perspective, like, at this point I don't have a body in the dream, it's just consciousness, and I'm watching this. And so these walls are shifting and changing, and then they became a pyramid, and then the pyramid sunk down under the sand. And there was a message to this dream, but that's neither here nor there. When I woke up, I'm like, what was that? And I don't know what to do, so I just hop on Google, and I'm like, blue monkey god. And holy shit, it appeared. Blue monkey god. Hanuman is a Hindu god. And he stands like a man. And sometimes he's depicted as orange, and sometimes he's depicted as blue. But his body is covered with hair. He has a tail. He has a monkey face. And I just honestly didn't even know. It's one of those moments, and if you've ever had them, you know what I'm talking about, where something happens and you look and then you find validation and you're like, holy shit. Because I had never heard of a blue monkey god. I didn't know that there was a monkey god in Hinduism. I knew nothing about it. So of course I researched him, and honestly, he is my favorite, nearest and dearest to my heart. I did not seek him out. I did not go looking for him. He came to me. And so I feel this very, it's almost like a parental, like I'm the child. I feel this very, this love that I feel for this being is almost, it's almost familial in nature. And long story short, basically the reason that Hanuman came into my life was to teach me to look for the sacredness in everything. Hanuman can look at a piece of plastic. He can see that the god and goddess that created everything in that pantheon, in that belief system, is within it. And that was a very powerful message for me. And so if I can look at something that I despise or that offends me, that is disturbing to me, and I can choose to see spirit in there, and it changes things. So that encounter changed my life in many ways. Made it so I could make a conscious change to be in spirit in times when I normally wouldn't have. And it was a very beautiful gift for me. This is the kind of thing that riles me up when it comes to cultural appropriation, because I did not seek out this God to work with. I had no idea he existed, and he came to me, which tells me that Spirit was using that deity to get this message across to me. And I can't see it as anything other than beautiful. I just cannot view Spirit as anything other than completely inclusive. And I may be wrong about that, but I can't. That's just the way that it has been presented to me throughout my life. So, that's my encounter with the blue monkey god, with Hanuman, who I adore. He's beautiful, and thank you guys for listening. And until next time, much love and gratitude.